everyone, Larry here with Models Workshop. This is a perfect reminder of why I need to get a voice recorder and a lapel mic, because I know the sound probably sucks ass. But we got to work with what we got to work with. So right here, you can probably see the very top of the box. We got a box in from TCP Global. They are a major provider of airbrush parts and everything else. This is not a sponsored video. They didn't pay me anything to do this. They do know I'm making the video, and so hi TCP Global people. Got the box in. So got this. We're going to unbox it. Then I'm going to do a quick setup video of the air compressor and the airbrush, and then probably a follow-up video tearing down the airbrush, putting it back together to show you guys how to properly do it so you don't destroy your airbrush on the first day. Most of the time. Can't guarantee anything. Just be careful. This stuff's fragile. So without further ado, we'll get right to it. This is a package from the TCP Global folks. This is actually Joe from the podcast. It's his. He's got an airbrush with compressor. Yeji. Not saying anything. Yeji. Clint. He has a compressor. Yeji. Alright, so what we ended up ordering, we actually ordered a couple extra. I started off with a Masters G43, which is very similar to the airbrush that Joe ordered. He ordered a G44, and basically the only difference is the cup's shape. Ordered a couple extra needles. They're about $8.50 a piece for a needle and nozzle. It's a great exceptional value. Pick up a couple whenever you order your kit, because more than likely you're going to screw one up like the first time you take the thing apart or open it. It just happens. So, order a couple extra. Seriously, order a couple extra. Alright, so, also, this is the MAC airbrush cleaning kit. It's $25. I use the same one. Highly recommend it for the value you get. It's awesome. If you happen to buy the deal that I usually link through Amazon, the $199 deal, you get one of these included. $25 value. Exceptional. Air hose. Because straws suck and blow. So first we're going to go ahead and pop open the compressor, because it's kind of the beast of the operation, and without it you really don't do a lot except have an airbrush sit on your shelf for 3 years. Yeji. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably should listen to the podcast a little bit more, because I have a friend and co-host on the Models Workshop After Hours podcast who's had a Sotar 2020, a $400 airbrush, bought it three years ago, and it has been sitting on the shelf ever since, because they don't have an air compressor. They have bought literally 700 different Kickstarters, but have still yet to get one of these air compressors. Now this isn't the 20, which is what I have. This is actually the 40. The reason we decided to go with this one is that I'll be airbrushing at Joe's house a lot, and this one actually can run multiple airbrushes at the same time, so both he and I will be able to airbrush simultaneously once we get the proper adapters in. Alright, now this is a tanked airbrush, and I highly recommend getting a tanked airbrush. Not only does it take the pulsation out of the air that's coming out of here, which is not as noticeable, but the big reason you want a good tank on there is because it collects the moisture. So when you're collecting the moisture, it makes it where you don't spray water out of your hose and ruin your paint job. I've had it happen even with a tanked one if you do it too long, like if you're airbrushing for 2 or 3 hours. So I highly recommend getting one with a tank. It's like $20 more, worth every penny. Also, it makes it where this thing stops every once in a while and gets a break. Standard air compressor, basically, this is a 4-cylinder. I think I've actually had cars when I was younger that had smaller displacement than this. I do believe my Ford Aspire actually could probably run off of this thing. Probably better. Yeah. So this is a 4-cylinder. I have a 1-cylinder. So this thing actually puts out a hell of a lot more air. TC20T. is what I have. This is actually the TC848. So this is the bad boy. First thing you're gonna need when you buy the air compressors, make sure to get the proper hose. If you're buying a Masters, an Iwata, a Devil Biss, a Harder and Steenbeck, you're gonna want a 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. If you're getting something like a Badger, a Pache, a Tester's Aztec, or one of those other airbrushes, you're gonna want some, I think it's a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch. It'll have this size and it goes to a tiny one. Or you get an adapter and it'll do the same difference. Parts of the compressor. This is what gives you air. This is what goes and actually produces the air. This is what holds the air. And when it holds the air, it also causes some of the moisture to condense inside the tank, making it where the air comes out, it's drier. This is your regulator. This is what controls how much air is actually coming out. This, okay, I kid you not, I've had people actually not know this. If it's down, it will not twist. Lift it, and it twists. And this is how you turn up and down the air pressure that comes out of the airbrush. I will typically airbrush somewhere between, I've sprayed as low as 10 psi, but I typically keep it around the 30-35 range, because higher psi, the finer the atomization of the paint is. At least that's what I've seen. So I usually set it about 30-35, but you can turn it down if you have some really fine detail work, or if you have some masking in your below the paint underneath. But that's a different video, and I'm not going to really get into that much right now. This is where the air comes out. Now, if you have a multiple airbrush setup, you can actually get a manifold that splits it into 2 or even 3 different directions. Eventually, we will pick that up for this system too. This is the air dryer. This is also where moisture will collect if it doesn't go in the tank, and you just simply lift it up and it'll drain out. All right, one thing that you are going to need, it's not needed, but I highly suggest, it's like 80 cents at Walmart or 40 pence at your local hardware store. This is Teflon tape. It's probably going to be in the plumbing section. But this is Teflon tape. You're going to find it in your local plumbing section, and it actually stops water and air leaks. So this type of stuff is super handy for putting these together. It doesn't need a lot. You just wrap it on. Don't get it in the, try not to get it in the airway. Cut me. No, I don't mean like literally cut me. Damn, I got my thumb. Alright, so you can see this stuff is super thin, so you got to be really careful to keep it on nice and flat. And I'll probably screw this up. No worries, it's cheap, and you get quite a bit on a roll. So you're going to wrap it around. Like so. I probably put too much on. That's fine. We can always remove some easy enough. You're going to take this and just simply screw it on. It's going to be a little difficult because of the Teflon tape, but that's what kind of you want. This will make it where the air is not going to leak out right here. Another thing, this does not come with the standard kit. I don't think it even comes, it might come with the $199 kit that I recommend. I think it does. But if not, and you're kind of building your own kit, or I built a kit for you and I told you what to buy, this right here. And what you're going to want to do, same deal, take some Teflon tape. Take some Teflon tape, wrap it around the threads, like so. Try to be neat and fail. Oh, okay, not too bad. All right, what you do is you take this is the female end, and you screw it onto your hose. And you're probably wondering, why, Larry? Well, this is a quick disconnect. Makes it where literally you take and pull the sleeve down, and it pops the male end out. A lot better than I thought it was going to. Didn't realize it was that spring loaded. But it'll pop the male out, and when it's out like this, no air is going to escape. It shuts off the airflow. That's awesome. Why do you want something like that for your airbrush? And this is the Masters G44. The reason is for cleaning, honestly. And if you have multiple airbrushes, when you finally start picking them up, if you don't have a splitter yet, you can get these for all of your airbrushes and put them on. And so if you need to switch out, you just pop the other one off, pop the other one on, and you're good to go that quick. Honestly, the cleaning is the main reason I have it, because I have a splitter on mine. You can pop it off without having to unscrew it, rescrew it, have to reapply Teflon tape, take it to the bathroom, rinse it out real good, scrub it real good, you're good to go. So cleaning is a big thing. Now, why did we go with the Masters G44? One, it's an inexpensive brush. Yes, it is a Chinese-made brush. Yes, it is not in the United States, as far as I know, it's exclusive to TCP Global, but it is branded differently overseas. I think it's actually just an AB100 or AB44 or something like that from the company. But they're inexpensive, but they're not crap. They're actually pretty nice airbrushes. They're not a Harder and Steenbeck. They're not an Iwata. But for, I think it's like $40 or $35 that you pay for this, it is awesome. I used mine for years before upgrading, and I still use it. And I have a Harder and Steenbeck translation inexpensive airbrush. Yeah, let's see. Now, okay, so you don't need that part. This is part of their High Precision series, which is kind of a knockoff of the Iwata custom microns. And that's where the paint goes. Needle cap, air hook. It has a nut that adjusts. Ooh, that one's actually much nicer than the one that was on mine. I might actually get a little bit of Teflon tape and put on mine to modify it. But then you have this, and this is one reason I really like this airbrush. You twist it, and it actually controls the airflow at the airbrush itself, where you don't have to mess with the regulator. Also, another cool thing about these is that you can get a 0.2 millimeter needle, which is what comes with it. You can get a 0.3 millimeter needle, and I'm pretty sure you can actually get a 0.4 millimeter needle for this airbrush as well. So it's versatile. The airbrush needles are cheap. You can stock up on them, or I shouldn't say cheap, they're inexpensive. And it just allows you to be able to use one airbrush for multiple purposes. If you want to, if you're sitting there looking to base coat, you can grab a 0.4 millimeter, slap it in real quick, and I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. Or for finer detail, you just use the 0.2. If you're airbrushing and your compressor is far away because you don't want to listen to it because you're listening to music, you can just go lower the air pressure for one little part and then turn it back up. Simple as pie. Like an actual simple pie. I know, not all pie is simple. Once again, trusty Teflon tape. And what I'm doing here is simply, once again, anything that has threads is going to have airflow going through it, put Teflon tape on it. This stuff is cheap, and that roll has literally lasted me forever. And I have 4 airbrushes, and I have set up multiple systems, and I still have a ton on the roll. Do not be afraid to use it. If you screw it up, take it off and put more on. So take this, and you're just going to simply screw it on like so. And now, there you go, set up. Also, a cool thing about this is it gives you more of a trigger, or more of a hold, because it's a little bit longer. You can also get an air dryer to put right here. That gives it like a pistol grip. I don't like the inline air dryers. They tend to mess up quickly, and I really didn't find them to be all that effective. So, but if I need to clean it, pops off just like that. Want to use it? Pop on. Once he gets another airbrush and needs to switch out real quick, pops it off, pops the new one, grabs it, puts the new one on. There you go. It's that easy. So this is the basic breakdown of setting up an air compressor system, and the basic parts of the air compressor, the basic parts of an airbrush. I'll go over more in depth the airbrush portion of it, air compressor. That's pretty much it. There's really, it's motor, tank, air dryer, air regulator, and the valve that shows you. This can be replaced, but you'll want to get a 1/2 inch with a 1/4 inch out. This will come out so you can actually replace it with another one. You can actually get digital ones. I use this one. It's been on my machine. I've had my air compressor for 9 years now, and it runs, okay, it's running a little rough right now. It's 9 years old. Come on, it's like 150 in compressor years. So, but this is the Masters G44. Very inexpensive, very versatile airbrush. This is the air compressor, so tank, regulator, everything else. Once again, this is an unsponsored video. TCP Global has not paid me anything to do this video, and I hope you've enjoyed. This is a Models Workshop production. If you like this, you can head over to www.models-workshop.com. You can also find us on Twitter at twitter.com/NWAH podcast. You can also find our podcast weekly. You can either go to the Models Workshop website, or you can go to modelsworkshop.libsyn.com. And lastly, facebook.com/The Models Workshop. We are currently holding a contest to get more likes because we are attention whores. And we also just want people to be informed about really cool painting stuff that we're doing too. And we're attention whores. So, that's it. I hope you've liked this video. If you have, please go to the bottom, give us a thumbs up. It makes us smile. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because we publish videos like this all the time and we want you to stay informed and with the best information that you possibly could. Anything that you see us review is an honest review. We don't take sponsorship, except for Amazon. Amazon kind of pays the bills. Well, Amazon, no, it doesn't really. It actually kind of just makes the wallet hurt a little bit less at the end of the month. But anyways, thank you for watching, and peace.